YouTube up. Facebook up. Link that up.
I don't see it anywhere.
What? Huh?
I'm just trying to see it on. I don't see it on any platform.
What? Sign up?
There's nothing live. You're not live on YouTube.
So this is live?
Okay.
No?
I don't see it. I can reopen and check. Yes, now it does.
I don't know what to do if it's not live. Okay. Hello and welcome to another episode on the Cultivate channel. Today we are going to talk about efficiency versus excellence. And so we have to decide first, and with me here is Juliet, and today we have to decide who goes first, so which would you like? Juliet, you have efficiency.
Okay.
It's only fair, I think. If you know me at all, I love efficiency.
That's the one
so
you would want.
That's the one I would want, so it's good to make me think harder. So, efficiency, excellence. Well, I'll tell you a story. It's actually in the book, but I'll elaborate a little more on the story. And so, as you guys know, well, you should probably know, but if not, my dad was abusive, a bit of a drunk when I was younger, and so for whatever reason, my mom didn't want me in the house. Well, actually, for whatever reason, that's the reason. So I spent a lot of time with my grandfather and my grandparents, for that matter. So I lived with them for a few years during third or fourth grade, fifth grade, those 3 years. But the summer times, I'd spend a lot of time with my grandfather. And one of the time, he would tell me, go do this, go do that. And we loved going to the movies. And so my grandfather would go to matinee. And if we wouldn't go to matinee, it'd be too late to go to the other movies because we have to be home to have dinner with my grandma. So I wanted to get done all of the stuff he wanted me to get done. Most of the time it was like, I got to finish this work. But sometimes it was like, you need to do this, you need to do that. And he would give me little tasks. And one of them was, sweep. And I was like, among many others. But by the time I got to sweeping, I remember I was like, there's just no way. There's no way that we'll make it in time. Because he liked to go to this one that wasn't so close. So I swept everything behind a door. And I thought it was really clever. I mean, but I was like 7 or 8. I don't remember. 7 or 8. And he didn't actually look right behind the door. He was like, you suck at sweeping. And he was like, has no one ever taught you to sweep? And I was like, it's sweeping. You don't have to, why does someone have to teach you to sweep? He's like, because you don't know how to sweep. And he could tell I was impatient. I was like, oh my goodness, he's teaching me to sweep. It's going to take forever. And I was like, we're going to miss the movie. And he told me, he was like, stop. And he was like, if you're not going to sleep well, don't do it. And I was like, okay, let's not do it. Let's go to the movie. But he was like, no, your job was to sweep. So you're going to have to sweep. Because if you're going to do something, you're going to do it well because you said that's what you're going to do. And it stuck with me, right? Like if I do something, I'm going to do it well. If not, I'm not going to do it at all. And I think that for me, it helped me stand out. And I think that's what excellence is about. I think it's two things. One, it's about feeling good when you do something and you feel like you're meant to do it and you're doing it really well. Those two things are separate, right? One is you're really good at it and one you really enjoy it. But typically, I think excellence meets those 2 points, in my opinion. I think that it feels really good and you feel really proud of what you're doing and you really stand out. And I think for me, a lot of times, I applied a lot of things. I did a lot of scholarships and fellowships, all this stuff when I was younger, and I would get them. Like, it would be, for me, I really didn't, I just thought I was really lucky because it was these things that were super highly competitive, sometimes hundreds of thousands of applicants, and I wasn't the smartest one or the best one, but I would get them. And I think it was because, now that I reflect, it was that whatever task I was given, I actually really focused to do the best job I could do. And I think that helped to stand out, and it showed work ethic. It showed all these things that these organizations were looking for. And I felt good doing them. And even when I didn't get them, I was like, I did a good job. I didn't have any regrets. I wasn't, stressed out. I'm like, oh, I should have done that. I should have done this. I was like, I did well considering the time I had or considering the parameters I was given. And that's, I think, one of the great things about excellence, that you don't have regrets and that you feel really good doing it. I mean, I guess one of the downsides is time kind of flies when you get into the groove and you're just really, doing something that you're really great at and you like doing. And I think that's what, excellence is, in my opinion. And so I guess you got to bring it back in reference to the moment. And I think it helps you be in the moment, right? It helps you get more of the moment because you enjoy what you're doing, you're good at it, and you're excelling, and usually you're getting better. And not that it's important, but people are usually giving you lots of reinforcements, accolades, all these different things, so it feels good. And so I would say excellence is important because of all those things. And now Juliet will talk about efficiency.
I think about efficiency in terms of a recovering perfectionist. And I think that probably our audience is also potentially type A and maybe struggles a bit with some perfectionism, which means I want to do things well. I want to do it the best that I can. I want to know what I'm doing. And I think that I have so many great ideas. There's an endless number of things that I want to do. And getting past the start is really hard for me sometimes. Like, oh yes, it's fun, it's exciting in the beginning, and then I heard somewhere it's like when it starts, all the possibilities of perfection, of having this thing be exactly what I envision, are there. As things continue, I realize that the path it can take, it becomes more limited. So the ideal situation is now less of an option. It's limited. And so it makes it difficult if you really want to do what you think is the best, the perfect thing maybe. These may not be at odds, but it becomes more difficult. Then I think efficiency needs to be, for me, something to bring into the equation, because just do it, just get it done, find a way or a system, something that keeps things moving forward efficiently, because then in the end, this can be accomplished. It can get finished. So for me, it's really, okay, what's the next milestone? What's the next a checkpoint? Or how can I make sure that weekly the schedule gets done in a way that all the good ideas are great, but if there's not a plan, if I can't efficiently get through A, B, C, D, then it's not going to happen. And it's great that I want to do my best. It's great that I do my best when it's exciting, but if it can't get finished, then it doesn't matter that I tried. Well, I did an excellent job in the beginning. Well, where is the output? Where is the thing that you were going to do? Or maybe I don't get to the dinner with friends because didn't quite get to getting it set up. I had the great idea, we talked about it, and then it sits there. So I think that this is dependent upon where you focus, right? Where I find I like doing things really well. I like spending extra time to get it just right, or how it can be. But then it's hard when it doesn't keep moving in the direction I want. And so that's when I think the efficiency part, like getting it done and finding systems to, it doesn't mean that it's not enjoyable once that sort of gets the momentum back on track. But I think that's where I see the efficiency part is really important.
I think this is a really good point. I mean, I love efficiency. It's usually my number one priority. But I'm really trying to think about it in the sense of the moment, right? And that me at first, in my mind, I was thinking this is about getting stuff done, right? Do you do it in excellent fashion, which typically takes longer, or do you do it something really efficiently where you're just done with it? And so the question becomes, do you like doing what you're doing? Because if you like doing what you're doing, then by all means, focus more time and energy and enjoy it, right? And be excellent at it versus, just rip off the band and get it done as quickly as possible because you're not enjoying yourself. You're not feeling like you're getting anything out of it. That being said, in the moment, it's one of those things where, getting it's probably a telemarketer. Being in the moment is, I'm just trying to think. I don't know. For me, I think efficiency is a little different because in my mind, when I'm efficient, I'm really happy. And I enjoy doing it, so I'm more in the moment. But I think most people, I'm trying to think about
normal.
I was going to say that exactly.
Unless you need that motivation, right? Unless you're like, okay, now I'm back on track. Now I feel like I can keep this moving forward. So for me, that's when I don't love it when it's like, just get it done. But then I feel good. Oh, okay, this project's moving forward. Or, oh, I was able to go to the dinner. Now I want to keep doing this. So I think it depends.
Yeah. It definitely depends. I'm trying to as we go, this is live, trying to frame it in a much more moldable fashion, I guess. So I guess we can limit it in the sense of like, if you can only be efficient or excellent at everything you do, right? Which one of those things is going to help you be in the moment? And in some ways, I find like being excellent at everything you do really hard mindset wise, because you're just like, I hate this. But if I had a superpower, right? Like this is again for me, assuming I can motivate myself to be excellent, and that means you're excellent in the beginning, in the middle, and the end, and that's really hard because you're excited, you're enjoying it, you're doing all this stuff. That's really hard for me to do unless I really feel like it's something bigger than myself or really like doing it, right? And so if I had a superpower, I could be like excellent at anything I do regardless of time versus be efficient at everything I do. And I think efficiency is one of those things where you can't really be efficient without taking in the big picture. You have to, right? Because you're thinking about what needs to get done here and what's the fastest way to get it done, right? For me, right? What are my strengths, what are my weaknesses? And I think right there, that's really big picture. And so I still like efficiency a lot, but I think there's a huge bias, right? But that being said, I actually feel like, again, this is kind of ridiculous to think about it on these parameters, but if I had to choose one, if I had a superpower to be like everything I do is efficient or everything I do excellent, I kind of would do excellent, right?
No, I think that...
Even though everything would take so long. I'm not saying perfect, right? We're not talking about perfect here.
That's not a reality.
But yeah, being excellent, I feel like, yeah, maybe I would do less, but I'd be pretty okay with that. I don't know. That's my opinion.
I think, while you were talking, it made me think of, if you're talking about doing your best, it's zooming out. This is where the two complement well, because you say, okay, I want to do my best considering the limitations that I have, right? Being aware of what the limitations, whether they are skill or often it's time, right? Energy. Yeah. So, and I think that's where the kind of the efficiency bigger picture comes in and says, okay, well, I want to do these 3 things in this hour. That means this is just a very micro picture, but as an example, that means I want to do the best I can, splitting up my time, whether it's evenly or one thing is clearly going to take 40 minutes, the rest are 5-minute tasks, right? These are my constraints, so I'm going to do the best I can within these constraints with the tools and the resources I have of A, B, and C in this hour. And I think it's that picture of I'm going to achieve excellence, I'm going to strive for excellence within the constraints that I have. And I think for me, that's really helpful to keep things moving forward when I get sort of stuck, to bring in the efficiency, but it doesn't have to cancel out excellence, right? It's maybe not if you had unlimited time, of course, your level of what you could do will be different. But I know that I have limited time, and then I will be frustrated that I couldn't give my focus or excellence to B and C if I spent the whole hour only doing A. And so I think it is this balance of like, I want excellence, I'm going to put this amount of effort in because I know I can do my best in 40 minutes for this, and it will still be great, right? Or it will be good, or it will be good enough, and then being okay with what that looks like. And so it's a bit of that perspective of the bigger picture to bring the two together. But I mean, no, that's not verses, but that's what I see.
You always try to mix them. But that being said, I think it's a good argument for efficiency, right? Because there's this thing, if you're all excellent at everything, you're gonna miss on a lot of stuff that potentially you need or want, right? And so, I don't know. I want to say efficiency just because then you get so much done. But the question is, do we ever feel like we got enough done? And I think that gratitude and appreciation helped me feel good for what I did, but I always feel like I could do more. And maybe that's just me, but most people I talk to that are like us, it's never enough. There's always more on the list. There's always more that can get done. And I thought I was going to go the efficiency right, but now that I say it out loud, I'm realizing it's excellence is still better. I mean, I think in the real world, efficiency every day, all the time, just because there's just too much to get done, right? But that being said, I think that in this pretend world we've created where you can only do one or the other, and excellence is the better way. But what does that say about our society and how we live, I think, is more interesting, because if you could just always be focused on being excellent and loving it and feeling that drive and feeling proud and doing all those things, you would always be in the moment and you'd be so happy until you stop and you realize all the things you didn't get done, or the people who are you upset because you didn't do the things they wanted you to get done. I'm not even saying agree to all those things. I think that's a really interesting concept in reference to these two things come together in reference to like, how much do you get done? Because we keep talking about how you're getting it done, but I think the question keeps in inadvertent ways about how much you get done.
And that's efficiency, right? The question ultimately efficiency is being able to get it done in an efficient manner so you can accomplish more or do it with fewer resources, right? Okay, we're thinking of time as the main resource when we're talking about getting more done, but efficiency can also be other resources, right? Financial resources, human resources. There's different ways to think about what's most efficient, or just less energy because you have a process that makes it smooth. And I think that you also, it's a little bit of, if you're talking about what other people are expecting, it just made me think of maybe excellence is also a way to help build some boundaries, right? To say, I want to do an excellent job of this. And I think in our go, get more done world, it can be tricky to build some of the boundaries to say, actually, if it's going to look like this level of quality, then I have to take B and C off of my plate for this period of time to give the excellent quality to get what I want out of focusing on this one thing. So there's something to be said there, I think, if you have the privilege or the ability to say, let me use this a bit as a tool to build a boundary around cramming too much in. If you think about the give and take of how much you want to get done or is expected to do.
Yeah. I think the other big thing here is time, right?
Yes.
And again, time is a tool, so, I think everyone would be happier if they do things to an excellent level, but then the efficiency is not very efficient, so you get less done. I think it's tough. I feel like I want to give it to excellence by like 51%, and it's not even because I have excellence. I actually really prefer efficiency.
No, you want to give it to efficiency.
But you know what it is? I think it's about this, right? It's what do you prioritize, right? In combination with, I guess it's just consciousness, right? What is important to you? What's important to you? And then where are you, right? If you struggle with getting stuff done but really good at starting stuff, then you should focus on efficiency, right? Yes. Like you said. And if you struggle with like not being in the moment, then maybe you should focus more on excellence, right? In reference to like doing it to the best of your ability and enjoying that. I think if you can get there, you can enjoy it. And some things you won't be able to get there, and that's perfectly fine. For me, I think because I have such a big bias to efficiency, I would like to put in the third one, which is regret. And I don't really get a lot of regret. Not because I think I did the best I did, because sometimes I'm like, did I? I don't know. But I almost always feel pretty confident that I did it the most efficient way, considering the constraints, which is time, right? And for me, that really helps me, because sometimes I'm like, well, I really messed that up, but I'm like, but I did it really efficiently, right?
And I was able to do all the other things
and
too.
Then I got so much done. Yeah, and that to me is one of the things where I'm like, but I got, when I again, it's, but I will say this, right? Because you talked about comparing to other people. We're not talking, I think it gets too messy talking about other people. I think it's what's excellent to you, right, and what's efficient to you. Because when you start going out there, I don't recommend it. It's never good, and you'll never really be excellent in anyone's eyes, because maybe right now, but not tomorrow, or whatever. You know, it becomes too messy. But I think that it really depends on the individual. I think for most people, because we struggle to be in the moment, I would say excellence is something to get into and focus on, so you be in the moment. That being said, I would say that people like us who are already excellent, they're successful, but they feel like something's missing, I think they would struggle more with efficiency, because it's never good enough. There's never enough stuff. There's never enough time. All these things. And so I would say for for our audience, I would say efficiency would be harder and more difficult, and probably pay off more by investing in those things.
I agree, and it just made me think of the saying, I'm not sure if I'm getting it exactly right, but perfect is the enemy of done. So if it's really, I don't think we're saying, there isn't, perfection is really a misnomer, is what is perfect. But thinking about if it has to be the best, the excellent, the perfect thing in your mind, then it won't ever be done. So it's really the opposite of efficient in that way. So if, like you're saying, the struggle is more about finishing and getting to the things that you feel like might be missing, making time for those kinds of things, then yes, I think they're like, okay, what is good enough to be done, so that then I can move on to the next thing, at least for now.
Yeah, definitely. It actually reminds me of a story when I was younger. I was applying to colleges. In the U.S., you have to apply to all these colleges, and I was a part of a lot of programs. I had to apply a lot of them. And in the beginning, I've if you know me, I'm very much about just getting it started, getting it all done. And I realized, like, sometimes it's like Mount Everest. You can't, like, run up Mount Everest. I mean, maybe someone can. But like, that's not the way to go with that kind of thing for me. And so I had to pace myself. And a lot of times I realized that it made my perfection tendencies, and I feel like usually I got them well in check, but it made it really difficult for me to be able to address them, because the essay's never perfect, the questions are never perfect, and what I ended up doing is figuring out a way through experience of being okay with it. And I think it came to efficiency. I'd say, okay, it usually takes me this long to write this essay. It takes me an hour. Okay, maybe it takes this. And I'd be like, okay, that means I need a day. And so a lot of times I would goof off, I'd do other stuff, but I knew the next day something was due. A lot of times midnight, West Coast or East Coast time. And I would literally, when I get home from school, start. And people thought that was ludicrous. People would be writing, they'd give their papers to read. And for me, I remember one of the most competitive and difficult things I ever got into the first round. I asked people, because I was super efficient, right? The essay was, I think, 3 paragraphs. And like, and like it was like, imagine maybe a page and a half, like, back in the day. But I just felt really good. And I was like, you know what? Like, it's good. It's just really good. I'm concise. And I remember talking to somebody afterwards when I got it. Once I went through all the different rounds. And they told me, you really stood out. And I was like, why? It's like, they had all these essays of multiple pages, and yours was just, it was easy to read. And we could give it to someone else, really. And they would read it real quick. And they were like, you knew what you wanted to say, and you said it really well. And it was just really refreshing. And it made me really happy because I was just like, I got in through efficiency, not by being an excellent writer or doing anything, extraordinarily well. I was just extraordinarily, I guess I was excellent at being efficient. and I really felt really, I think like in my academic career, it was probably one of the proudest moments I felt, because I was like, I don't know, usually throughout my career in education, people would tell me you're lazy, you have so much potential, apply yourself better, stop trying to just get 90% so you get the A. And I was always the one being like, not finish my test, because I was like, I got a 90. Why am I going to work harder to spend more time? I don't like this. The A looks like an A, whether it's A plus or A, it's still a 4, so I don't really care. And so I don't know. I feel that, what it might be, now that I'm thinking about it, I think the world doesn't really reward efficiency typically. And I think that for me, it was really nice to finally get recognition for being efficient. Yeah. But that being said, I think the world does reward getting a lot of stuff done.
Yes, I agree.
But I don't quantify that as efficient, because efficient means you get it done well, right? And I think getting something done and it's shitty, is not for me efficient. Because you have to go back and do it again usually, or you have to, try to fix it by like breaking off a piece and re-sticking it on, and it becomes, not very efficient at all, because you end up spending more time. Anything you wanted to add?
No, I think that it's really a mix and depends on what your struggle is, where the energy is best focused. But perfect is the enemy of done. But I realize not getting it done just to get it done, as you just said, but well enough that it won't come back to
exactly.
fill up your space and time again.
So there you go. I think your homework would be like, depending on where you're at, if you feel like you really shine all the time, then try to be more efficient at something, because maybe you could then focus on something you enjoy, or something you want to focus on. And if you do find yourself being super efficient, then try to slow down and really get into that, something. And again, just pick one thing, and again, either excellent or efficient, and be like, that's my goal. And I think that helps a lot, because sometimes we're like, just get started. You don't really know what the point is, right? It's like that guy getting it done. Like, what does done look like? Because if you don't know, because sometimes it's something you don't want to do, so get it done efficiently. And other times it's something that you're gonna, have to present maybe, and you want your excellence to reflect that, right? And so you focus on more time. And I think that will help individuals have a better idea of that big picture, so they can consider time and all these other factors. But like I said, try whichever one you feel you struggle with, and tell us how it goes in the comments. Anything you want to add?
No, it's good.
All right, we'll end it there. Thanks for listening, and if you want more information, please check out the book, as well as the framework that is out now. And if you have any ideas for the next video, please comment below. And until next time, stay curious, stay open, and stay true to you. Thanks for watching.